Well, I think this one's going to be fun. That there holds that spring in place. So when I drop that down, there's nothing holding that spring in place. Oh joy. Okie dokie. As I say, what this video is going to be about anyhow is a couple of stories, that's all. Not changing this, about coil springs and my experiences that actually nearly caused, well, it did. I ended up with 11 stitches, so I'll tell you those stories. Okay, let me get this one out and then I'll start. Luckily, the top mount actually stopped it going in. So there's the new bits there, but as you can see, she snapped and the bits are there. Okay, let's see if we can get onto them stories now. Okay, right, got the shock absorber all back in again, but I promise you some stories of stupid things that I done. And I'm going to be off track a little bit here, but it won't be long. When I was 12, I was on this bike race, and you're probably thinking, what the hell is he on about? We're talking about coil springs. Well, I was 12 years old and we were in this bike race, and we're coming to the bottom of the road and we're going like hell, and I actually won this race. And one guy went off into the field, the next guy went straight off into the fence, and stupid me went left, and I've gone down and the brakes didn't hold on. And I've come round the corner and I've veered, and there's this electric box, and I've gone bang into this electric box, come down, and I've split my chin, and there's claret everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Anyway, Mum comes down, looks at it, goes, oh my god, and she actually pulled it down, and you could actually see my actual my chin bone. It was actually hanging out there. So what she got is, she got a towel, put the towel up underneath, and obviously went to hospital. And it was quite funny. My mum said I'd never make 18, and then she said I'd never make 21, and then she gave up. But she got a towel, and I ended up with 9 stitches across there. I didn't break my jaw or anything. And when she come home, she was ringing the towel. Unbelievable. And the only thing the old man was worried about, because he was a carpenter, he had to go and reposition the door. So 14 years on, I was working on an Astra B. It was an E-registration. You never forget the ones that go wrong, I'm telling you. And when you're playing with coil springs, you got to concentrate. All right, get rid of that phone, get rid of anyone talking to you, get rid of anything. Okay, I mean, I'm not scared of coil springs, but I respect that they can hurt me. There's a difference. If you're scared, I think I'd say leave them alone. All right, but if you respect it and go on, you'll be fine. Anyway, this was a stupid story, and I was doing it for a lady 2 doors up from where I used to live. And I had a brother-in-law giving this, and I'm listening to him and listening, trying to answer and everything. So I got 2 coil springs off the front of this Astra, and that they weren't that brilliant anyhow. They weren't, thank God it wasn't a modern day coil spring, because I think it would have been a little bit more dangerous. And I take off the first one, and I've got those. I mean, what I use now is I use these. I think it's brilliant. It's I haven't had a problem with them, and they've been safe. So as I say, I took the ones I had was the 2. So I squeezed them down, took it off the first one, still talking to the brother-in-law, and then I picked the other shock absorber up, and I started to undo it. Can you see the problem here? Well, I didn't. So I'm winding it out, still yapping, and the next minute this thing come flying up, smacks me straight underneath the flaming chin. I don't know if you can see it, but you'll see the stitches are there. Anyway, it smacks it again. Stings like hell. It does, as I say, and you feel stupid. It's not the pain, it's the feeling stupid bit. And the brother-in-law says, "You all right?" Well, yeah, of course I am. My chin's hanging out here, and I've got claret coming all over the place here to go in. So obviously the first thing I do is hold it up, go and get a towel, lift it up. Then I come out, and the lady whose car it was came out and heard the commotion. And she says, and she was a district nurse, and she turned around and said to me, "We're going to have to take you to hospital because that's deep. That is deep." And obviously it's probably weak from the story I told you before. And I said to her, she said, "I'll take you to the hospital." Well, the problem is I never had a car, and to be honest, I'd have taken myself anyhow. My brother-in-law didn't have a car because they were somewhere, and obviously the lady's car was in the space. So I said to her, I said, "Have you got any of those sticky strips?" And she turns around and says, "Yeah, but you need to go now." And I said, "Yeah, but we can't." So anyway, she gets these sticky strips and she sticks up my chin. I don't know how many she put on, but she put a few, and then she put a plaster over it to keep it clean. And obviously an hour later I had everything all back together again, and she took me up the hospital. This time I ended up with 11 stitches, and it wasn't that deep, to be honest, but as I say, be careful, think about it. Remember, I'm 57 now, and I was probably about 26 there, and I've never ever been close to that situation again. So really think about it. I mean, you might have done thousands of springs, and I'd done loads of coil springs by then as well, but it's always that one chance and what that could have actually caused. But yeah, that was the first story, but yeah, at least I did get to 57, didn't I? And the second story happened about 10 years ago, and I was in the old garage, and we had a lady come in with a Renault, and I remember the job really well. And it was what was wrong was coil springs had broken, so she brought it in. We changed the coil springs, put it all back together again, torqued everything up, and put it back together again. And this job did remind me, because I had a problem of getting the top nut off the shock absorber, but I put it all back together again, and the top nut tightened and everything. So I took it for a test drive, and we've got some like speed bumps. See, speed bumps do come in handy when you're trying to diagnose something, and I've got this beautiful path I take it. So I took it over there, and there was no noise, no nothing. So I gave it back to the lady, and remember, I've done hundreds of these shock absorbers and never had a problem. So I gave it back to the lady, and 2 days later she phones me up, and she says, "Trev," she says, "did you tighten everything up?" Well, when someone turns around, it doesn't matter if you're a lady or a man, it doesn't matter to me at all. If you say, "Do you think did I tighten anything up?" it means there's something that's worrying you. And as I say, fixing cars, it's like fixing a weapon, you know what I mean, because cars kill people. So, and I've always worked on that scenario of fixing cars. And I said to her, I said, "Are you in?" She says, "Yeah." So I jumped in a courtesy car, I took it round, and I said, I'll take it. I don't know what's wrong with it, but obviously you've got a concern, and that's enough for me. So I took it round my usual test drive. When I come back, and it was going boing, 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 and I'm thinking, what the hell's that? It does sound as though something's loose. And I knew it wasn't the wheels, and I'd gone round and done a preliminary check before I even drove it off. So we were really busy that day, we were busy the next day, and to be honest, we were flat out all the time, most of the time. And the lady, what I'd done is I rang Paula up. I said, "Paula, I'm going to be late tonight. I've got this lady's car that's come back, and I need to make sure it's safe." And at least we didn't have a dog, otherwise my dinner could have been in the dog, couldn't it? So I put it on the ramp, and I'm starting to go around checking it out. and I'd already ordered a shock absorber because that's what I thought it was, because obviously 6 o'clock at night there's no shops open to actually get it, and remember I need to get this off the ramp. So that was my feeling. If it was something else, then obviously that'd be it. So I took it all apart and I've checked everything, everything's tight, everything's there, and I took the shock absorber back off again, felt okay, and then I took it apart, and then I looked at it and got hold of the shaft, and the shaft was all over the place. Bang, 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 bang. So I thought, flipping hell, what caused that? Have I done something wrong? Has she hit something? I mean, but the one thing about this side is it reminded me when I was taking the nut off, I was using an air gun and I was trying to crack it off, tighten it up, cracking it off, and I remember going that way quite a lot. Now for a mechanic, I mean, I understand suspension, I understand how that all works, but how a construction of a shock absorber, is that good for a mechanic? Well, I think it's handy to know, isn't it? And I got an education. So what I've done is did the job, took it for a run, no noise. And when I came back, and it was probably only a couple of hours, and I chopped the top of the shock absorber off because I wanted to know what was inside it. I was one of them kids when I was a youngster taking things apart because I needed to know how it works. So I've chopped the shock absorber off and I've pulled it out, and there's a nut in the bottom of where, and somehow they've got a safety feature in there, obviously to stop these things coming out because they've got the same problem. But the nut had actually come out, and it was sitting on the bottom. So I thought, oh, hold on, we've got a problem here, which I hadn't foreseen. Perhaps I should have done, perhaps, I don't know. There's so much on cars, and you think 10 years ago there wasn't as much as what we got now. To try and keep up with now is a whole new procedure. Did I actually put it in safety mode? Did I put it in service mode? Did I do this before I even looked at it? Did I touch it? You've got so much to think about now. Them days it was basically sort of mechanical. And what I'd realised is what I'd done is where I was using that flipping air gun and I'd spun it around, I must have undone that nut. So I never thought about it, and probably everyone else has probably done hundreds and never had a problem. And I had to do something about this, because once I've found a problem I need to solve it, because it will be on the back of my mind all the time that it could happen again. So I thought, well, the idea is we've got to get that nut off and not spin the centre shaft. So what I did is I bought this tool. Give me a minute and I've got to turn this down. And I bought this, that's the shock absorber done, and there's the tool. And I bought this tool, and this tool, it comes with a hole at the top there, loads of different sockets, loads of different bits, and in the top here you can have all sorts of different holes or like sockets in there, and there's all the different ones there, and you put that there, and then you can put, I think it's that one, you put that in there like so, and then all you do is you move the nuts, and then you don't move the shaft, which has got that nut at the bottom there. So, and I'm going to be honest, I've never ever had a problem since then. I might not have had a problem, it might have been a one-off, but as far as I'm concerned, why make a tool if there was no problem? And I went back to the lady next day, explained to her, say, look, I'm only human, and I believe I caused this. I'm 99% sure I caused this, and I explained to her, and I think she was over the moon that I was just honest with her, really honest with her, and as I say, I paid for it. I mean, at the end of the day, my main concern is that she was safe, and she kept coming back to the garage, which is exactly what she did. So that's my 2 stories about Coil Springs. I'm going to put this back together again. You ain't going to want to watch me. It's a Q3. Put it back in there. But if you'd like to subscribe, or you want to hear a couple more stories, please put it in the comments. And I've got some weird and wonderful stories of things that have happened, and hopefully I can get my videos a bit better for some future stuff. But at the moment, holding the camera, concentrating on a job, getting stuff done is a bit of a no-no, and I'm trying. That's all I can say. So all I'm going to say is thanks for watching. It's a bit cold and damp this morning, but it's not going to rain, and that's all I care about. And my number 2 son is playing hockey today, and he's actually playing for a team, and he's playing tomorrow. He goes to practice twice a week, and he plays both weekend days. We're going to Crawley tomorrow, and I'm a real proud dad. So thanks for watching, and I'm hoping these videos get better. Cheers. Bye.